What's up, YouTube? We are taking a look at a deck profile today for a new version of Ninetales GX with the release of Shining Legends into the format. Shining Legends will be legal for play from the 20th of October, which is this Friday. So this will be the first weekend that you were to take a Shining Legends deck to any kind of sanctioned event. And Ninetales is a deck I've been trying to get to work for a while. It's kind of a pet love of mine, this deck, and I really would love to make it work. So let's take a look at what Zoroark brings to the format and what it adds to this deck. So our main attacker in the deck is Ninetales GX. Alolan Ninetales GX is a stage 1 water type Pokemon, 210 HP with a metal weakness and 3 really good attacks. First attack for a double colorless Ice Blade, it's 50 damage anywhere in your opponent's field. So giving you that opportunity to snipe damage onto the bench or do damage to the active. So if it's a water weak Pokemon, you're able to hit it for 100, and with a choice band you'll be able to hit it for 160. Then we have Blizzard Edge for 2 water and a colorless, does 160 damage, and you discard 2 energy from this Pokemon. So ordinarily that would be a double colorless, but you can also discard 2 water energy, which allows you to bring your total energy count on the Pokemon down to 1 energy, which can be really useful in the God of War matchup to try and force your opponent to put a lot of energy onto their active. And then the third attack being the GX attack, Ice Path GX. Move all damage counters from this Pokemon to your opponent's active Pokemon. So if your opponent can't take the 210 knockout, you're able to move all that damage back over onto one of your opponent's Pokemon and heal yourself up, hopefully taking a knockout at the same time. So a pretty versatile and really good attacker, but it does have that awkward metal weakness, which with Metagross being the format was a bit of a problem. But now we are seeing a resurgence of Volcanion, and because of that this typing of water is pretty good and the weakness to metal type is not nearly as bad. But we do also have an alternate attacker now with the release of Shining Legends, and not only is it a decent attacker, but it's also a really good draw engine for the deck. So our attacker in this case is going to be Zoroark GX, a 210 stage 1 dark type, evolving from Zoroark with a pretty decent attack and a really good ability. The attack Riotous Beating does 20 damage for each of your Pokemon in play. So with a full bench and an active, that's 6 Pokemon, you're doing 120. With a choice band, you're doing 150. Not an amazing number, but you have ways of reaching good numbers here through things like snipes, through using attackers like Tapu Koko, which I'll show you now. But the ability Trade, once during a turn before you attack, you may discard a card from your hand. If you do, draw 2 cards. Gives us a really good draw engine in the deck. And because we are a different typing, we have a different weakness. The other important part about this card is it's got a psychic resistance, which can be really helpful with the prevalence of Garbodor in the format. Then let's have a look at the Zoroark that we're using. We're using the new one, which for a double colorless does 20. Might not seem that relevant, but at least you can attack with a choice band. You'll be doing 50. So in a pinch you could use it. Plus it's just really cute, the artwork. Then we play 2 Tapu Koko promo. This fantastic promo has free retreat, and for a double colorless does a flying flip, 20 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. The idea here is you spread damage across the field, and you can snipe with the Ice Blade. And then we can hopefully use Espeon EX, Miraculous Shine, to devolve each of my opponent's Pokemon. Hopefully they are playing rare candy engines. So if we are able to stack enough damage onto those Pokemon, when we devolve them, they get knocked out, taking multiple prizes in one turn. We also have other ways of getting to those critical numbers. You'll remember I said Riotous Beating can do 150 with a choice band, 180 being kind of a magical number. And that's why we play 3 Potown. Potown says whenever your opponent plays a Pokemon from their hand to evolve their Pokemon, put 3 damage counters on that Pokemon. So that hits the 180 mark, which is pretty important. And let's not forget the Alolan Vulpix with Beacon, which is an energyless attack. letting us search our deck for 2 Pokemon, reveal them, and put them into our hand. A really, really fantastic setup Pokemon. Even if we weren't playing Ninetales, we'd probably be playing this in any deck that relies on finding the pieces of evolution puzzles. And we do play one of the Baby Alola Ninetales with the Luminous Barrier, prevent all effects of attacks including damage done to this Pokemon by your opponent's Pokemon GX. You know, only doing 80 damage for a water and a double colorless, but it does present a couple of awkward situations for our opponent, and they need to play around it. So 110 with a choice band, with the Poton we run 140, and hopefully with a couple of Cocoa Spreads we can hit some decent numbers. Then let's take a look at the other items we're playing. We are playing 4 Aqua Patch to accelerate energy out of the discard pile onto our bench. We are playing 2 Field Blower. We do rely on abilities for our draw engine, and we want to keep abilities in play for our baby Ninetales. So the 2 Field Blower helps us, and it also helps us deal with things like Fury Belts, which can really mess with our maths. We play 1 Rescue Stretcher to get a Pokemon out of the discard pile or shuffle 3 back into the deck. 4 Ultra Ball to discard 2 cards, hopefully those are water, and find ourselves a Pokemon. 1 Bridget for the setup. We play 4 Guzma. It's too good not to play the 4. We really want to take the knockouts on the Pokemon that really are meaningful. We play 1 Mallow. With the Zoroark GX draw engine being able to draw 2 cards, this card is fantastically good. Some people consider it 2 count, but I think the 1 is fine. We can lay for it when we really, really need to find those 2 critical pieces to take the right knockouts that we need. Because it's supported for turn, it means we can't play Guzma. So it's not as useful as you would think, and I think the 1 count is fine in the deck. We play 3 N as our shuffle draw support. We play 3 Professor Sycamore, 4 Choice Band. We really need to hit those numbers. 2 Floatstone. We want to have options to retreat our Zoroark. It does have a 2 energy retreat cost. We play 4 double colorless energy and 7 water energy. And that is the deck. So I think we can jump into the ladder and see what kind of games we can pick up. We have ourselves a game here. We are playing against a Water and Psychic deck. Not sure what that is. Water and Psychic. Maybe Lapras. Actually, it could be Greninja. Greninja is a pretty bad matchup as a whole, but with some Cocoa Spread and Zoroark, we actually might have a bit more of a fighting chance. So let's see what we're up against. And it is Greninja. Alright, so Brooklet Hill comes down. Could get himself another Froakie on the bench. And just to pass on to our turn. So, what do we do here? Mana Brooklet Hill, getting ourselves a Vulpix. I am going to Choice Band the active, Choice Band the bench, and I'm going to play us in here and see what we can draw into. Unfortunately, we don't draw into anything useful. So just going to retreat into the Vulpix. And I'm going to go ahead and beacon here. So we'll get ourselves the Zoroark and the Ninetales. Alright, so another Froakie hits the bench, and Frogadier active, and water duplicates most likely. Getting 3 Frogadier out. Is he going to get another one now? Yep, going to play that Ultra Ball, getting 1 out now. And Sycamore discarding his hand and drawing 7 new cards. Splash Energy to the active. Another instance where I think having the enhanced hammer could be really good. Let's put that Zoroark down. And let's see here. Go with the Ninetales on the active. I'm going to Ultra Ball, getting rid of the Water Energy and the Lele. And what do we want to get here? Do we want another Ninetales? That is the question. I think we do. So I'm going to play the Mallow, getting ourselves the double colorless, and probably the Potown. We are going to trade, discarding that in, drawing the 2 cards we need. The double colorless on the active. Potown. Play down the Vulpix. Aqua Patch onto it. And then we can Ice Blade, taking out the Staryu, or we can put the 50 damage on the active. Which might be the better choice, and I think that's actually what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it on the active. Let's see what our opponent can do here. Going to take that 30 damage from the Potown. So that means that if we do devolve him, he's going to get knocked out from the Espeon. I'm going to Shadow Stitch, turning off our abilities. Alright, so let's have a look here. The double colorless. Do we want to put it on the Zoroark, or do we want to put it on the active? I think we're going to look. I mean, the GX isn't massively important anymore in the game. Be great to take the knockout on the active. And I think we can probably just go for the Ice Blade to the active, saving our GX. And the Splash Energy will put that Greninja back into their hand. But that means they can't get a breakout this turn unless they play a Wally, which I don't really think they will. So Potown coming in, putting that important damage down on the field here. Wow, so going to go with their own Espeon play here, taking a knockout on our poor little Ninetales. Cool, so there goes our Zoroark, and we will put up our own Vulpix, which was a mistake. But alas, poor Vulpix, alas. Let's see here. We'll attach there, taking the 30 damage. Evolve here, taking the 30 damage. And I'm going to trade, discarding the Baby Ninetales, pretty useless in this matchup. And we get ourselves a Water Energy, which I'm going to put up here on the active. And then I'm going to play I'm going to Ultra Ball, getting rid of the Zoroark and the Guzma. And we'll play an N. Alright, so we'll go for the Ice Blade here, and we'll put the 50 damage on the Staryu. Going down to 4 prizes, so our opponent's going to be able to devolve us again here. And that will put us at 60 and 60, so one more devolve and we're knocked out. So we need to hit a choice band here. Do we have it? We should have the choice band in the deck. So let's go for it. Let's see what happens. We're going to evolve, take the 30 damage, evolve, take the 30 damage. We're going to attach there. Thin some cards out of the deck. Let's see, is there a choice band there? There are 2. And what do we have here? 5. I think we're going to go for a Sycamore. So I'm going to take that Zoroark. We're going to play down our Lele. Wonder Tag for the Sycamore. And let's see if we can hit that choice band. We do hit the choice band. I'm going to trade, discarding the Bridget, thinning that out of the deck. We don't really need that card. Alright, so we get a Field Blower, which I don't really want to use right now, so we're just going to go with a Blizzard Edge. Taking a knockout. Going down to 2. If our opponent has a choice band here, they will be able to get the knockout because they'll be on 110. With the Water Shuriken, they'll easily get the knockout. Alright, so going to get that Espeon back in the deck. Field Blower those 3 choice bands off. Oh no, going to get rid of the Potown. So, doesn't really need to get rid of the choice bands. They don't really do anything in the matchup. Alright, so we go down to Field Blower and a Guzma. Attaches to the active. And Shadow Stitch. So we can't use that trade. Which is pretty unfortunate here for us. So we're going to go for Riotous Beating, knocking out the Froakie, going down to 1 prize card. Gonna Lily, drawing up to 6, choice band, and Shadow Stitch. Alright. Huh. Interesting. Interesting. It's a real pity that we don't have what we need. You can take the knockout on the Zoroark on the next turn. Let's think about this. Well, we are going to Field Blower regardless. Getting rid of that choice band. So we need to do enough damage here. Let's see, how can we do this? Can he take a knockout on this guy? Double giant water shuriken will take the knockout, so that's not ideal. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to Guzma up this guy, bring up this dude, and we're going to attach here, and we're going to Ice Path GX. Move that 100 damage off of the Ninetales. So now my opponent's got 2 damaged Greninjas. Going to Shadow Stitch for 40 one more time. We've got an Ultra Ball, so I'm going to Ice Blade the active for 50. I should have just Ice Bladed the bench. I don't know why I did that, but whatever. I could have just won the game on the next turn, but he's going to Shadow Stitch one more time. So we're at 80. Going to Ice Blade the bench. We have got 2 double colorless left in the deck. We just need to hit one of those, and we get a victory. So you see how the Zoroark does swing the matchup against Greninja. Really can help. Let's try get one more game with the deck and see what it can do. We have ourselves a game against a Lightning Psychic. So Psychic generally is a Lele. You never really know, but Lightning could be Coco, I suppose. Maybe you never can tell. We start with the Vulpix, and we'll put a Vulpix on the bench as well, and we'll hit done and see what we're up against. So our opponent does have the World Championship sleeves. It's a Necrozma spread deck, so Coco and Necrozma. With Devolution, I would imagine, so they probably play Espeon EX, and they're going to aim to spread damage everywhere across the board. Choice Band to the active, Sycamore discarding their hand, so there goes everything. Okay, and they play the Meowstic tech, which has got that ear influence, I think it's called. Lets you move the damage around. This is a very similar deck to one that I profiled a while back. And let's see, what is he going to be able to do here? He could Prismatic Burst for 70 with a Psychic. So I'm actually going to attach to the bench, and I'm going to Beacon here, getting ourselves a Baby Ninetales and a Lele. Alright, and let's see what our opponent does here. I would imagine they might go for the knockout, but stranger things have happened, so let's see what happens here. Down comes the Meowstic with the ear influence. Move as many damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon as you like to any of your opponent's other Pokemon in any way you like. So this is how you deal with things like, well, it's effectively just spread the damage and then you move it around. It's a card I've been playing around with. This is actually a Flashfire reprint. So the original card was from Flashfire. I think it actually was the card on the Flashfire theme deck, if I remember correctly. So let's see here. We can... I'm going to put this on the bench. I am going to choice band the bench. I'm going to choice band the... I'm not going to choice band the active. I'm going to Lele. Getting ourselves a Sycamore. I'm going to choice band the Lele, and then I'm going to Sycamore, discarding our hand, and draw 7 new cards. Well, we don't hit what we need, which is pretty unfortunate. Let's attach that there. And then we're going to beacon. Let's get ourselves a Ninetales and a Coco of our own. Alright. Go. The real threat on the board here is this Meowstic with 90 HP. So, spread comes down from Coco. Another Psychic to the Necrozma, and a Sycamore. We really need to find a way to get rid of this guy. So Flame Flip, 20 damage everywhere. Alright, so let's evolve this active up. At this point, I am going to choice band this thing. Put down the Coco. I'm going to put the energy here. And I'm going to Guzma up that Meowstic. And we're going to get that 80 damage down now. So on the next turn, in theory, we can Coco spread. What this forces my opponent to do is to move the damage onto this baby Ninetales to knock it out. He's got just short of enough to knock it out because he'll only be moving 100 damage onto it. Going to attach to the Necrozma and Guzma up my Ninetales GX, I would imagine. Yep. Taking a knockout using probably Prismatic Burst. I think what he's going to use, but as I said, you never can tell. Yeah, I'm going to Prismatic Burst for the knockout, which I think is good for us. So discarding all that energy, and now I think we put the Coco up and we hope we hit the double colorless. So we're going to Sycamore here, discarding our hand and drawing 7 new cards. And well, we missed the double colorless. So that is really weirdly unfortunate. Huh. I'm going to put the Zoroark down. I'm going to retreat into the baby Ninetales, and we're going to Aurora Beam, putting 110 damage on that Necrozma. We've got some awesome rain coming down at the moment in Cape Town, which is much needed. We're in the middle of a horrible drought here, so any rain, even the smallest bit, is really helpful. Such a nice sound to hear on your roof. Who's going to Guzma up here? The Lele. Bringing up that Coco and going to spread 20 damage everywhere. Which we're going to do too if we can get rid of that active Lele. So let's see what we get here. We get a Float Stone, which is not helpful unless we hit a Field Blower. So let's trade, discarding the Zoroark. and see what we can hit. We hit the Guzma, which is awesome. That's exactly what we needed. Sweet. So, who do we want to bring up here? Probably this Necrozma. It does have the 2 energy retreat cost. Gonna put up our own Coco. Gonna choice band that guy, and here we go with the flying flip. 50 to the active and 20 everywhere else. Taking the prize on that Meowstick with the ear influence. And now he's got a hefty retreater up front. 2 Guzma in the discard pile. We have a Floatstone in hand, and we can trade if we need to. So next turn we will take a knockout on the Necrozma with that flying flip. Gonna Ultra Ball, probably looking for a Lele maybe. Trying to Guzma one more time and go for the flying flip. Gonna go with the Espeon Devolve strategy here. So maybe he's got a Guzma in hand. Let's have a look. See, Max Elixir onto that Espeon. I do like the Max Elixir. In my original list, you would have seen I played 2. It can really help you get these sneaky knockouts. Does he have a Field Blower and a Floatstone, or a double colorless to retreat that Necrozma? 2 double colorless on the bench, and I think 1 in the discard. Yep. So Photon comes down. And what does he have here? Psychic to the bench, so he's probably going to try and go for that Tapu Cure. I am going to trade, discarding the Ninetales. And we get ourselves a Guzma. Let's see here, what can we do? 1, 2, 3, that's 80 damage. We can't really bring anybody up. Let's think about this. No point in that, so I'm going to put the DCE over here. And we are going to... Let's see. I'm actually going to try and get that that 20 damage onto the Espeon EX, just so that we've got 50 on it, which just puts us in a better range for knocking it out. Alright, so 2 prizes for us. Down comes a Trubbish, probably playing the 1-1 Garbodor or the 2-2 with a Trash Launch and a Garbo Toxin. So going to end us down to a hand of 3. That Espeon EX will not be able to affect that baby Ninetales. So we'll just be able to devolve the Zoroark here. We haven't played any Field Blowers as far as I know. Nope, we have not. A double color, so it's going to go for the Tapu Cure, I would think. Nope, Energy Drive. Wow. Interesting. Well, I'm going to promote the Zoroark here. Let's see. Let's see here. I'm going to double colorless the Lele. Then I'm going to Mallow. Putting 2 cards on the top of the deck. That will be a Field Blower and a Sycamore for the next turn. And then we can trade, discarding the Zoroark. And I'm gonna Field Blower away the Potown. Retreat into the baby Ninetales, and we will Aurora Beam, doing 110 damage to that Lele. Alright, let's see what our opponent can do here. They're gonna try and get a Garbo Toxin online. Yep. So Float Stone to the active. Retreat into the Coco, and they're gonna go for the 20 spread everywhere. There we go. I need to take 3 prizes this turn. Can they do it? Not convinced they can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That'd be 120. That'd be a knockout on our Lele. Want to trade one last time. Getting rid of that water energy. We hit another double colorless. Wow. But let me see here. What do we have? Do we have any Ninetales left? Possibly one in the deck. So I'm going to put this down here, and we are going to Sycamore, discarding our hand. And let's see here. We're going to Ultra Ball, discarding the Vulpix and the Ultra Ball. Getting out a Ninetales of our own. We can Aqua Patch onto the baby. So now we're well within Trash Launch range, but you know, it is what it is. We've got the Guzma here in our hand. We can Guzma something up. Got a Field Blower to get rid of Garbo Toxin. We've thinned our deck down as much as possible, I would say. Can they get the Garbo Toxin online? There comes a Trash Launch. So Psychic Energy will take a knockout here. Photon comes down. Where do they attach? And how many energy have they gone through? There's 6, 7 on the field. Flying Flip. Alright, so we can just Guzma up the Lele here. And we can take the knockout with our Ninetales GX. Why not? Just for fun. And we'll Blizzard Edge. Taking the knockout. Discarding the double colorless, and that will be the game. Cool. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed the deck profile and the games. Hopefully you learned a bit about the deck and how trade helps us. And also got to see a pretty cool matchup in the form of the Necrozma spread deck from my opponent's side of the field, Tapu Koko being their MVP, dealing a whole ton of damage to us. So a pretty cool build on a deck we've already featured on the channel, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Cheers.